Hey guys, I'm filming in my bathroom and my wife is currently vacuuming the floor out there, so hopefully you don't hear. I tried to do a test run, but we shall see. Okay, so I used to be all about the body positivity movement. Like, I thought that was like, especially the F Your Beauty standards. I was like, fuck yeah, Tess Monster's hot as shit. Fuck, I can be whatever I want. I can be healthy at every size. I was delusional as fuck because it's all a fucking lie. It's pretty much a bunch of white fat girls, because you rarely see anybody besides white, and usually they're all alternative as well, but they're all white fat girls like circle jerking around themselves, telling them how pretty you are, how pretty. Life is more about than just being pretty. You can be pretty and still on the verge of death. Now you can be any size and be on the verge of death as well. You can be skinny on the verge of death, you can be anything on the verge of death. Body positivity should be about health, and literal health at every size. But see, here's the thing, when you say things like health at every size, that's not, you can't be healthy at 400 pounds. You might not have any medical issues now. You might be totally fine now. But one day it's going to catch up with you. Your bones are going to give out. Your joints are going to give out. Your organs may give out. You may have blocked arteries. You don't feel that until you have that fucking heart attack. Now, what unfortunately took to scare me into realizing that I might need to do something about my weights, because I've always been chubby to fat. I've never been skinny, ever in my life. I've been like chubby, and right now I'm fat. I have lost about 50 pounds and I'm trying to keep on losing, and I don't see myself ever being skinny, but the more focus that I focus on is trying to be healthy. I want to exercise and move my body, and it took my mom having a heart attack when she was 180 pounds and five foot, you know, and 180 pounds, which is not that much. Yeah, at 5 foot, that's a little big, but it's not like she was like morbidly obese, which you always assume that's who's going to have that heart attack. But she had 7 fucking blocks. 7 of them. If she didn't go to the hospital, she would be dead. And I'm like, okay, if you had that, where am I? Like, God, and then I've had a sister who had gastric bypass surgery, got skinny, and actually still had a stroke from being overweight before. So, no, that's ridiculous to think that, like, you can be healthy at every size. You're just living in delusion, which I get it. I mean, nobody wants to think about their own demise, but it's better to think about it now than just, be dead. Sorry. Now, the one thing the biggest issue that I have with the body positivity, besides the whole, like, lying to yourself and complaining about thin privilege, we'll get to in a second, is the fact that they think it's appropriate to knock skinny girls. Like, do you not think that, do you really think that only fat girls feel bad about their bodies? I mean, I really think everyone should like who they are. Like, who you have to. You're never going to make changes. You're never going to care about making yourself healthy if you hate who you are. I mean, that's just common fucking sense. So, of course, no, I'm not ever going to bash fat anybody. I don't want to bash anyone. You should never bash anyone for their size. But common sense would dictate taking care of your body is the best thing you can do for it. There are skinny girls that don't like themselves, but for some reason it's socially acceptable to be like, only dogs want bones and eat a cheeseburger to a skinny girl. But like, if you say something like, oh girl, God, that girl's fat, people are like, oh, you monster. Well, if someone's fat, someone's fat. Most fat people know it, and that's one of my biggest issues with society today anyway. Like, I think a lot of people have way too thin skin. Like, people are going to talk shit on you regardless of what you do. Like, if I ever get to a normal size and decide that I want, like, fucking mousy brown hair again and, cover up all my tattoos, they'll find something to fucking talk shit on me about. People are judgmental assholes. If you worry about everyone's fucking opinion of you, then you're just going to waste your life fucking worrying about everybody else's opinion of you. Like, they're always going to find something to not like. Just like if you're watching this video right now and you're getting really fucking pissed off at me. Pop the fuck off. I don't really care because this is my fucking opinion and my channel, so bye. But it's really a dangerous fucking mindset. It really just fucking is. And another thing with the body positive movement, besides the fact that we do nothing but knock skinny girls, why is it only basically just white girls? Sometimes, black or Spanish girl. Usually alternative looking. You never see a male. Well, you might. One out of every 500 posts you might see a male. You never see amputees or people with skin disorders or anybody besides fat people. Like, is it not okay for them to like themselves too? Like, are they not allowed to be body positive? And why is it looked at as such a horrible thing if somebody who happens to be overweight loses weight? Like, there's a VTuber that I wanted to watch. I wanted to like her because I liked her style. She did a lot of outfit of the day videos. And I was definitely with my aesthetic. Like, I loved her outfits. But then she started talking about other things. And I was like, bitch. Like, basically, there's some plus size model that got weight loss surgery. Okay, that's her body. If it makes her happy and healthier, cool. And the thing is, a lot of people think weight loss surgery is a cop-out. I've had my dad, my uncle, and my sister and my brother-in-law have all had weight loss surgery. And my sister had it in the 90s when it was like a brand new thing where they literally cut you all the way up and rearrange everything in your body. It is not an easy way out. They're cutting up your body and rearranging your organs. It's like your last fucking resort, first of all. And you still have to work at it. You still have to exercise. You still have to eat well, because if not, you're just gonna not lose any weight and just they get cut up for no fucking reason. My sister now can run she runs about 7 to 11 miles a fucking day. She's a beast. She fucking works her ass off. She fucking weight lifts. She fucking does everything. And she watches her weight and she makes sure that she's never in the route to where she's going to be unhealthy again. But here's the thing. She was unhealthy for about almost 30 years. So since she was unhealthy for 30 years, she actually had a stroke when she was 40. When she was skinny, when she was that perfect little skinniness that's supposed to be like so healthy, right? No, everyone has issues with health regardless of size. You can be any size and be unhealthy. But that also means that you can, but you have a bigger chance of being unhealthy if you're large. That's common sense. Like a lot of people bring up like thin privilege, and like there's one thing that I will agree that's quote unquote thin privilege, but it's not really thin privilege, I don't think. When I go to the doctor, I am on state insurance because I'm PO. So I go to like a free clinic, and so my doctors change constantly. Like I never go to the same doctor. It's always some different doctor. And sometimes they read my chart and they see that I've lost 50 pounds and I don't get berated for my weight, and they actually worry about other health issues I may possibly have. And sometimes I get a 20-minute conversation on my weight and what I should eat. And I'm like, but I'm already, weight loss takes time. Like I'm already trying, okay. You can just, okay, yeah. And then when you get berated for your weight for so long and they're not listening to you and they don't care about anything else that's going on like health-wise with you, they're just worried about the fact that you're fat. And this bitch was also 450 pounds. I was like, hypocrite much, bitch? It makes you really disheartened and not give a fuck. But what ends up happening is you actually don't give a fuck to the point that you just eat whatever the fuck you want because you're like, well, I guess I'm dying anyway, so fuck it. Like, it's almost like a negative thing. Like, it makes it totally opposite of what the doctors are trying to do. But here's the thing. If a doctor tells you to lose weight, they're not doing it just to be a fucking dick. They don't decide like, well, you're fat, so I'm gonna make you feel horrible today. When it comes down to it, being fat is not healthy. It's not good for your body. Just like being severely skinny, just like being a lot of things are not healthy for your fucking body. But it seems like it's only fat people who can complain. Like, and we are totally allowed to just knock every skinny bitch. And I'm like, no. No. It's not cool to be like, hey, go eat a cheeseburger, or, you know, like, fuck it. Like, no. Everybody can have issues with their body, including skinny girls. And you think about it, most people who develop like things like anorexia and bulimia were usually an average weight and they wanted to be model thin. So why don't, like, that's not body positive. It's not body positive to starve yourself. So why are we allowed to fucking treat them like dirt? Because, you know, only men want fucking, only a dog wants a bone. Like, that's just disgusting. I actually had a coworker. She wanted a stupid shirt and it said something like, oh god, let me think. Oh, what was I gonna say? Said something to the extent of, I might be fat, but I'm still prettier than you. And she's like, oh, we should buy it together. And I was like, that just screams, I'm insecure. Just like every person who knocks a skinny person. I have a friend who is 6 foot, like 100 pounds. She is a fucking model body. And she is insecure as fuck. Insecure as fuck. She hates her body. So why are we only trying to bring up the fat girls? Why do we not have anybody who has any kind of like physical disabilities? Like, an amputee doesn't want to fucking be body positive. A fucking person with like psoriasis doesn't get to be body positive. Males don't get to be body positive. It's only fucking fat girls? Like, that's ridiculous. That is not body positive. That's fat positive. And nothing is good with fat positivity. That's just ridiculous. So I don't understand. I think it's actually like a very dangerous subculture. And luckily a lot of people are starting to realize that. But you can love your body and still want to change it. You can, like, I love my body. I love who I am. I don't think I'm a disgusting pig. Like, I love who I am. However, I love who I am enough to want to make sure that I am healthy as I possibly can. I am living the best life I could right now. I am very happy with my marriage. I am very happy with where my life is heading. And you know what? I don't want to die right now. Back at about 10 years, a few years ago, I did. A few years ago, I didn't give a fuck about my life. So when I was sad, I would go eat a bunch of junk food. And what I've done is try to curb that. And the last video I made, I did say some sort of fucked up things about people that binge eat. I want to sort of touch on that a little bit. I feel like anyone who is over a certain amount of weight probably does have, I mean, Come on. If you're about 400 pounds, there's no way you're going to tell me that you're eating regular portions unless you have a medical reason to be 400 pounds, which is about 1% of the population kind of thing. It's not very often where that's an issue. You usually have some kind of emotional eating to binge eating to whatever. I definitely emotionally ate. I definitely binged, all that kind of stuff. And we have all these YouTubers that binge eat on TV. I mean, on YouTube. Now, it's not a mukbang. It's actually like a binge eater. And I just started watching this one person, and her name's like, I want to say Foodie Beauty or whatever. Like, she is literally, her whole channel's about food. And all she posts is her binges. And like, I watch them, and I'm almost like, I feel like she's just, I mean, there are times that she seems like she's upset, you know, and she's definitely eating because she's sad. But I think a part of it also has to do with the fact that she knows that she can get a lot of views out of this. Because for some crazy reason, people like to watch other people binge food, eat. Like, I don't want, like, every time I watch it, I'm like cringing the whole time. But she'll eat and she'll just be like, oh, this is so good. When I binged, like, I was ashamed of myself. Like, I pretty much was trying to fill the hole in my body. Like, I pretty much had really bad coping mechanisms. So if I was sad, I pretty much filled it with sex, drugs, or food. Or all three, you know? Like, that's not a way to live. And for someone, like, this girl goes out and binges and, like, videotapes it, and all she's doing is going, oh, it's so good, and just talking. Like, she doesn't seem like she has any shame or she's embarrassed by it. And, I mean, okay, I guess, you know, don't be embarrassed by anything. But it makes it seem like she's not really, doesn't really care that she has binge eating disorder. That she just wants to binge. And I mean, that would be, if we saw somebody who was a binge purger, if we saw somebody who had, you know, a binge purging disorder, and they were binging and then puking, would we have an issue with it? We watch it on YouTube? No, we'd be like, oh my god, please get help. We'd probably watch it like we watch Eugenia Cooney to sort of be like, ooh, like, almost like, I don't want to, Eugenia Cooney's a sweet person. Like, she's actually one of the sweetest people I've ever seen on YouTube. People destroy her all the time, and she's just like, oh, that's your opinion. Love you guys. Like, she's genuinely sweet. Yeah, I'm thinking she has some kind of issue with food. It's not my place to do anything about it, because when it comes down to it, nobody can change anyone. But, like, you can't change me, I can't change you, we can't change her, nothing like that. So, if it's okay for us to all be like, oh, Eugenia Cooney, you definitely need help, but we're not allowed to tell somebody who happens to be, like, overweight that you might need help? Or someone who's binging on TV for money? Because that's what it comes down to. You're just getting YouTube views. And it's really creepy because it's like I said in the mukbang video, who's watching this? And why are you watching this? Like, I watch it and I'm sitting here like cringing, and it's like reminding me of really bad times in my life. Like, when I did, I literally, like, when I was done binging, I felt disgusting. I usually tried to puke, but I could never actually get it done, unfortunately. Well, I guess that's really, really unfortunate. But that was like the biggest thing. I would try to puke it up and I couldn't get it to actually come out of my body. But, I would literally take the trash and throw it, like, out of my house. I get in my car, drive away, and throw it somewhere else, and no one would see. I was embarrassed. I was mortified. Like, I didn't start talking about it for the past, like, few years. I told my wife maybe, like, 2 years ago, and I told the internet, like, last year. Because it's embarrassing. So to find somebody, like, on the internet just talking, like, just eating, like, a bunch of crap and being like, oh, I'm just sad today. It's like, okay, I get it, you're sad today, but find better outlets, get help, you know, something. Like, so if you happen to see this video, which I'm sure you won't, get some help. If you are that depressed or you feel like you have to fill whatever whole emptiness you have inside of you with food, then get some help instead of just filming your binges. I know that YouTube money sounds really good, but is it really worth your death? Is it really worth that you might be dead in 5 years or 10 years or whatever? I mean, like, it's absurd. And the fact that, like, they call it body positivity and they call it, like, you know, I mean, of course, I don't think this woman calls it body positive. She calls it, she has binge eating disorder. And I'm like, okay, you have food addiction, you have binge eating disorder. But that would be like me shooting up on camera and being like, but I just have a heroin addiction. Well, no. Like, when I had a heroin addiction, I got help. If you have food addiction, you get help. Because you're not going to live a long, happy life. You're going to live a miserable life. That's just what's up. And, like, that's why, like, with, like, the body positivity, like, why don't we just call it fat positive? Because it's all it is. No one is allowed in unless you're fat. And probably a woman. Like, there's sometimes you see male, but it's usually just, I mean, like, and my wife, like, for example, my wife's an amputee. My wife's missing a leg. When she first got her leg, you know, had the accident, her leg was gone, she literally even told me she dated people that were assholes because she assumed that nobody else would ever want her because people were fucking assholes to her. Like, literally were, like, scared of the stump and stuff. Like, she has a stump. It doesn't creep me out, it's fucking flesh. But they're literally people who were, like, rude to her and really horrible to her. They don't need body positivity? They don't need someone to tell them that they're beautiful? No, because it's only fat girls. I don't understand this. And I feel like we're bringing a whole entire society of pussies. Like, okay, first of all, y'all need to accept that everyone's going to make fun of you constantly. People just make fun. It is what it is. I've had a video once that was actually ended up on Live Leak, which is hilarious because the video actually was, they proved my point by it. But I'll link that in here somewhere. And people called me the most horrendous things I've ever seen in my life. Like, pretty much like I got raped as a child and just that it didn't make any sense. And of course, lots of fat jokes because Captain Obvious, like I'm fat. And I didn't get hurt because it's the fucking internet. And honestly, if it even was real life, okay, your opinion is not supposed to matter. The opinion that's supposed to be the most important is yours. Just like if somebody's watching this video right now and is fucking hating me right now, come at me, bro, because who fucking cares? Your opinion is supposed to be the one that matters the most. But you know, we all fucking know, body positivity is not being unhealthy. That should not be body positivity. You can love yourself at every size, but if you love yourself, why don't you care enough to make sure that you live a long life?